Good evening and welcome to Wednesday night Satsang, the principle and the practice of unity. Our central practice in unity is prayer. So let's join together, entering into the consciousness of prayer. We consciously experience our unity with God and our unity with all life, with all love. Closing your outer eyes, join with me in taking a deep cleansing breath and releasing, letting go of the day. On this cooler evening, feeling ourselves wrapped in a warm blanket of Spirit's peace. As we enter into the consciousness of Om Shanti, peace be with you. And we say Om Shanti to the person who cut you off in traffic on the way here, or Om Shanti to any struggle that you may be facing in a relationship, in your work, in your body. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, peace be with you. Peace to any troubling thoughts. Om Shanti. Experiencing Om Shanti everywhere around you. Peace. Peace be still. Peace be still. There is only Spirit. There is only love. There is only the allness of God. And so we let go and we give thanks for this truth that sets us free. Thank you, thank you, thank you, beloved Spirit. And so it is. Amen. Let's join together in song as we sing, I Am So Blessed, remembering our blessings this evening. Oh, we're so blessed to have Jamaica Gray with us from our Sunday music team. Doubly blessed tonight. Thank you for being here, Jamaica. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. 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 I am so grateful for all that God is. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace in the earth. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. 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 Om Shanti Om. Peace inside my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. 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 Om Shanti Om. Peace inside the earth, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside the earth, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. 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 Om Shanti Om. When there is peace in my mind, there will be peace in the
So let us settle into a peaceful place in our lives. Take a deep breath and allow yourself now to feel that peace. The peace that passes understanding. The peace that comes from an infinite source. In and through us and in and through all. Resting. Opening, allowing. And so as you take a deep cleansing breath, all the way in and all the way out, and allow yourself to adjust your body into a comfortable upright position and relax. And this evening, we will guidance, guide our awareness of ourselves in these next few minutes together. And so as you take a deep breath in, whether your eyes are open or closed, it's not a problem, doesn't matter. Soft focus if they're open. Just kind of allow yourself to rest gently in your body and cross your heart center, your abdominal space, the solar plexus of your body, the center of your abdomen. Just allow yourself to relax and scan and be open as you consider these questions and allow whatever arises in your mind, across the screen of your mind, your heart, as an emotion, as a flow, as an experience, as a memory, as a picture. And so, what do you consider to be your gifts in this lifetime, the gifts that you bring? What are you good at? What do you love to share about your skills, your talents, your ability naturally to be in the presence of others? As they arise in your mind, your heart, consider what you believe your life, your presence brings to the world, uniquely you. What unique combination is your fingerprint on the world? What do people who know you ask from you or depend on you for? How are you known by others in your life? What do you suppose they would say are your gifts? What do you bring to the world in concrete ways, through actions or creations, through practical ways that you interact? What do you bring by your attitude, your presence, your experience, your passion? What do you yourself bring when you enter a room or space activity. Your essence. Notice what you're engaged in learning now, the stage of your life, or training for. It may not be a career exactly, just adding to your knowledge of the world, of yourself, adding to your skill set, your experience, your creativity. What are you learning now? What part of you are you refining, practicing, or healing so that you can express more of your true self, your authentic self, more of what your soul has come to be in the world? What would you like to help with to move to the next stage of your development and capability as a loving, peaceful presence in the world now? What would you like to do or be about to further develop you and to contribute your energy in useful ways? Allow yourself now to relax deeply, taking another deep breath in and a let go. And allow yourself now to visualize shining your light in the world, bringing your experience, all that you've experienced, all that you've learned, your love, your peace to the world. See yourself standing open and generously giving from your heart. See others seeking you out for guidance or instruction, example. Seeking your comfort or your presence in their lives. Watch as they come to you. How do you help them? How do you receive them? What do you offer? I invite you to take another deep breath in and gently return now to this time and to this place, to the sound of my voice, to your body seated in the chair, seat you have chosen. Notice how your body is positioned. Feel yourself fully present in your body, taking another deep breath in. And as you are ready, breathe and smile and open your eyes. This is your life. The world awaits you. And so it is. Amen.
It's feeling our hearts so open and full with our purpose and our work in the world. Recognizing the connection of our purpose with unity, with this ministry, with this Satsang that we connect with week after week. We're so happy that you all are here this evening, those of us joining us on the live stream and feeling your love and connection. And so we engage in spiritual practice now, the practice of giving in the awareness that we've already received, and giving so that these teachings can continue to be shared with the world, and especially the consciousness of these teachings, that it serves to lift the consciousness of all beings on the planet. And so I invite you, as you give here in the pyramid or online through our website or through our text to give number, that we give with our hearts open and full in the awareness of all that we've received, and give our gift with a blessing as we join together in our offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and so it is. Amen. People of love, let us people love today. We are the people of love, let us people love today. something as free as the wind. I give it to you, and I'll give it again. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. Reach out to the one you don't know and lend him a helping hand. The time has come for our sacrifice to find the way to our love. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. Love today. Love today. Love today. Love today. Love. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. We are the people of love. Let us, people, love today. 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 Love today.
Beautiful. That was really lovely and a great start and exactly what we'll be talking about this evening. You may be a little surprised to find that our long-awaited guest speaker for this evening is not up here. It would be Charlie Thweet. We were really looking forward to his return and to being a part of Unity of Houston again. This is his home church, and he, for many years, sang from this particular place, in this particular place, because this was the sanctuary for so many years. And so we're really disappointed that he wasn't able to join us. An emergency came up in his personal life, and he had to attend to it. So we expect to have him back. So because we got short notice, because that's what emergencies do, they give you short notice, that we thought what we would do is kind of look at the progress of the Living on Purpose series that we're all immersed in, whether we're doing it as spirit group or whether we're attending the services on Sunday, how it is that they may be affecting us as we're considering it. So we're going to do just a little bit of kind of presentation tonight, and then we're going to move into our spiritual dialogue, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So just to recap a little bit, I'm not really going to redo everything you've heard from Reverend Michael, but his Touchstone series this season has immersed us all in an exploration of our interests, our gifts, our values, so that we can understand the shape of our souls and what that might mean for this lifetime. It might also mean what we're here to do and what we're here to be. And then it's an opportunity for us to see how our soul is designed so we can bring our unique and natural selves to the world, doing what we really love. And that's often the greatest clue, people of love, when we show up as love in the world, when we do something that excites us, we know that we're tapping into a very deep soul value of some kind. So here we are, nearing the end of 2021, and living in a climate of fear and uncertainty. Now, not across the board, not all the time, but we have to admit, we have really trudged through an 18-month worldwide ambiguity at its best, tragedy at its most extreme, and really just about everything else you could name shoveled in between, right? And so living in this time, what really is being called upon at this time is the maturity of our spiritual lives, the maturity of spirituality, to heal the issues in our lives. And as we mature spiritually and as we heal, we become better equipped to bring peace and love and compassion and wisdom and grace and truth into all of our experiences, no matter what they are, no matter what our role in life is, no matter where we live, no matter what language we speak, no matter what culture experiences we are having, no matter what. Whatever experience we are in, when we come from an experience of absolute truth, peace, life, love, grace, wisdom, all of those are the attributes of God. When we are in an experience of being the closest thing we know to being an expression of that Christ within, that God within, even for a moment, we change everything. So being able to share ourselves authentically is what we talk about when we say expressing or shining our light. It's really something that's been planted in us already from the beginning. You can call it your soul, you can call it your spirit, your Christ self, whatever name really resonates best for you is the one to use, but it's really the way in which you get the uniqueness of the perfect part of you ready to be revealed. The more we walk our path, the more we become spiritually mature and more healed and more capable in our lives, more flexible, more surrendered. Service becomes a stronger drive within us than ever before. Even if we were always someone who liked to do things for others, or liked to be engaged or involved, or liked to be busy, or liked to see things changed for the better because of something that we've done, even those things, as a spiritually awakened, a spiritually mature person, you become even more effective at it. And it becomes a matter of personal integrity, that your life is aligned with that. Our world needs spiritually based people turned on to serve. Seriously, this is the only thing that really matters. Our world needs the true strength and courage of more love, understanding, and compassion, not the brute strength that fear invokes. So being fearful might look powerful from the outside, but we know it is only destructive. We know that it only breaks down. We know that it only breeds distrust and unbalance in the world. But peace is the platform that resonates underneath everything and is always present and available no matter what the conditions. It's easy to compartmentalize our spirituality, to make it something that we do in certain circles or on certain days of the week or with certain people, right? In certain ways. But actually, as we develop ourselves and become more evolved and more healed, what happens is that our spirituality now becomes our way of life in every moment. It becomes the lenses through which we see the world. It becomes the way in which we interact. There's another form of spectator spirituality in a way where we see how the things that need to be changed in the world, but we sort of sit back and we think, my spirituality is just about me and just about my life and just about, I've got so much stuff to still work on in my life that I really am not equipped to go out and offer anything out in the world. This is really just a job for me this lifetime, I think, just working on me. Now, it sounds like humility, but I think in some ways, I think it's a fear. It's a way of not being sure that my gift is good enough yet, that I might still have to work on it and work on it and work on it and be something that is perfect before I can offer myself in the world. And that is just simply not so. Every step we take, things can be different, and we can make a difference. Just taking beliefs like there's only one power for good, evil has no power, just taking that one idea and using that as a basis for how we see the world changes how we express, how we change, how we can change a conversation. Our focus needs to be on how can my thoughts, words, actions align with the power of love? How can I bring more love? Just my thoughts, words, actions. Not how good am I at it, not how often did I remember to do it, not even how many opportunities did I pass up or botch, or how did I let that, slip out of my mouth without thinking. None of that. Just how can I use my thoughts, my words, my actions, going forward from love? The Talmud says, do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You're not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. It is our responsibility. It is incumbent upon us. We breathe air, therefore, we are here for purpose, for reason, for usefulness, for love. So think about who or what is in your area of influence. Who's watching you from behind? Who's less skilled than you? Who's younger than you? Who's watching what it is that you're doing? Who's someone that you could support or encourage or teach or simply pat on the back and say, great job? What can you say or do? Who can you listen to with more love in your life? All of these things matter. And it doesn't change your career, and it doesn't change your schedule, your appointment book, or anything else that's driving your life right now. It only matters the quality and the way in which you do these things. Matthew chapter 5, Jesus said, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salt again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill can't be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. The difference between being on a stand or under a bowl is really and truly the perception, the flip of your decision to share, to shine, to take a deep breath, to do the best you know, to be what you try to experience all the time, to practice out loud. The Buddha said if you light a lamp for someone, it will brighten your own path. Rabbi David Cooper, a Kabbalist, a rabbi, Jewish rabbi, mystic, he said, spiritual awareness helps us to see our connection to all of life. So it's not limited even to human beings. It's just life itself, care for life itself. That's a big field to play in, great big field to find your talent, to find your gift, to use your light, to share your love. In the Jewish mystical tradition, tikkun ha'olam is to repair the world. Each of us carry that responsibility to do what is ours to do, to make whatever difference we can make. The Talmud says, to save a single life is to save the whole world. And to save a life might mean a kind word at a pivotal time, a pat on the arm, re-encouragement, a hug, a kiss, a word, an example, a way of being. What does the world need now, in this time of fear and uncertainty? Howard Thurman says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and go out and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Namaste. And now we are inviting Stacy Collins, who is on our staff. She is the coordinator for Spirit Groups. Some of you probably know that. If you've been involved with Spirit Groups, you may see Stacy in other roles. She's got more than one, though, right? Lots of roles. And so what I've invited her to do today is to be with us so that while we're doing our spiritual dialogue, she can bring some of the insights and awarenesses that have been observed in the Spirit Group's curriculum that's being used at the same time. A little different than what we see on Sunday. So welcome. So glad you're here.
So I'm glad to be here. Very grateful. What a beautiful service.
Mm-hmm. So, have you thought anything about what you've been experiencing in the series, and how's it been for you personally? Open it up.
It's a rich curriculum. In my spirit group, we've been walking through the various lessons that Reverend Michael has put forth, and piggybacking on what you said tonight, it's occurred to me multiple times through this series that we've been invited over and over and over again to tune into and to listen to the part of us that knows it knows. I remember the first time I heard this, I was probably in my 20s or so, listening to Mary Morrissey, I think is the one who said it, and it just, I hadn't heard it before, and it just resonated so deeply with me, because most of what we do with knowledge is that, like, I'm not a brain surgeon. I know that, and I'm content in not knowing that. And then there are other things that I don't know, and I want to know, and I go learn that, like I would like to know how to, maybe make some sort of special omelet. And I can go and research that, and now I know I don't know that, and I'm going to go learn that. And then there's this big batch of knowledge that we don't know. And that's very unpleasant, because that sometimes gets echoed back to us through the universe and through mistakes. It's like, okay, I didn't know that, but now I do. But what this series is about, this Living on Purpose series, is the part of us that knows it knows, and I would argue hasn't necessarily been ignored, but hasn't been fluffed. It hasn't really been given the full light of day. And, you sit in it for weeks now. It's sort of, there's a demand now to bring that forward.
I've been leading a spirit group on Fridays. hi and love to anyone who's watching who's part of the group. We have just really love this curriculum, Stacy. Thank you. And you know, hopefully you'll talk about it, but Stacy also is a co-host of a show on Unity Online Radio about spirit groups, so you can listen to her on there as well. So I just wanted to make sure we got that in there because it's really rich material. My spirit group, one thing that we really noticed was a theme throughout what we've been doing in this series is noticing how we've looked at our purpose before, but in the context of the pandemic, we've put some things on pause. Maybe we're in survival mode or doing some things differently, and so there was this, oh yes, that's what I really love to do, or what I've been wanting to do, or where I want to live. And I just kind of put it on pause for the last year and a half or a couple of years, and it's calling to me. It's calling to me. And so that's been exciting to just see that light come back up of, oh, this is possible again, and I don't need to put it aside, and I want to give it some more energy. One of the things that came forward for me was that I've been wanting to lead a retreat here at Unity. I've supported retreats many times, and I wanted to lead one, and just very excited that Reverend Karen and I are going, we've got it in the books, we're planning to lead an insight meditation retreat on February 5th. So it's what's coming out of this spirit group of, we know our intention and we're taking action. We're putting things in the calendar and we're moving ahead through the support that we have together. So that's just really been amazing.
Yes, and you know, I've seen some of that too. It's almost as if this is a time of almost granting ourselves permission to, maybe we have been in a little bit of survival mode over the past year and a half, and it's like, well, no, what is bringing me joy? What are the things that really make me feel alive? And you know, some of it sounds like, okay, great, we're going to have a spirit group conversation about what our gifts are, our hidden gifts. This should be fun. But I can tell you, what I've seen is it takes great courage to discover that, because along with kind of excavating those and bringing those gifts to light, then we're also looking at, well, where have I kind of kept them hidden, or where have I let a limiting belief stop me from expressing them fully? So I just applaud everyone that's in a group and is doing this work, because when we advertise it, we're like, come, make friends, make connections, it's great. And then you get in there and it's work. It's spiritual work for those who want to do it, but the richness of it, the things that people are experiencing for themselves and discovering about themselves through courage and through the support of seeing one another, it's just really been, it's so rewarding to see.
And I think something else that has been made of, that I've noticed through this pandemic is that as people coming back into life, and they had let go of some things out of necessity, you know, sort of the circumstance shut down being able to take on, to do many of the projects that were just commonplace before the pandemic. Now that we're coming back into the world, it's kind of like, I don't know that I want to do all those things again. You know, people are kind of picking and choosing a little bit more selectively. It's sort of like there's been a filtering process to allow that core self to come more to the foreground, too. I know that's true for me.
You know, I think that what I can really relate to what you're saying, and as well as an observation of that. It's like, you know, it's kind of like our little vehicles have got taken off the road and set on the side of the road, and we haven't been racing down the road like we were doing before. Not that we weren't engaged or involved, we might have just been doing off-road. You know, we were doing off-road travel, right? Just doing something else and going out here and kind of waiting for this other thing to be over, right? When is COVID going to be over? When can I come back to normal? When can we do the normal stuff again, you know? It's like, by the time, after 18 months, you know, they say that, what is it it takes to change a habit? 30. Like 30 days, right? I've heard that. I've heard 3 months really, to get something going. But 18 months? I mean, you know, and if we've just been kind of wandering aimlessly in our lives for 18 months, you know, it's no wonder that things have shifted and changed in us. Things have shifted and changed in the world. And a lot of things that were on their way, maybe cratering or about to go out, have just dropped off completely. And some things that we saw needed to happen or were coming are suddenly just like right here, already here. It's like we've sort of, when we got back on the road, we didn't get back on the road where we left it. We got back on the road and took off in an entirely different direction, you know? There's just a whole new sense of possibilities, I think, in this whole creative disruption that has happened in the world and therefore in our lives. And now, for those who put it to good use in introspection, getting to know one another, and as David says, picking and choosing what really is my life about, you know?
Spirit groups are wonderful too for the opportunity to share talents that you didn't know people had. We have an opening part of the spirit group where they could pray or they could share a piece of art or music, and we had one person who's a professional pianist play this beautiful Brahms piece for us. We had another person who's an artist who painted this deeply spiritual piece that we got to explore together, and just things like that just allow us to be in awe of the people who are in our community, who we may be worshiping with, but we don't know, just all that they bring. It's amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, something you were just saying too, Karen, I think that this time, of people really finding what their values are over the past year and a half. Like David was saying, it's really like, okay, what can I let go and what do I want to experience now? What is worth? And this is this series has been really powerful for helping you tap into what do I really value? What have I always valued? And so in doing that, people are finding that what they can, and it's okay to let some things go. It's not about picking everything back up and keep just chugging along like we used to. Reverend Michael quotes Jan Van Zant sometimes, and I'll probably get it a little bit wrong about. She says that, everybody has a purpose, everybody, and to live your life with purpose. And she says, some of y'all are going to have jobs too. And so it speaks to that compartmentalization part you're talking about, where
Right.
we are learning that we can live on purpose no matter what we do. Every person we see, encounter in all of our daily lives. And then spirit groups is a great way to check in and say, how is that working for us? How is living on purpose in my daily life working for me? And it's a safe place because there's no judgment in it. We had somebody share and say, can I share something that's not going to sound very spiritual? Of course you can, because it's all spirit. It's all something seeking to be revealed,
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about spirit groups is I've said it before, but I think it warrants being heard multiple times. And it is the safest place to dig in. There are wonderful teachers here in all kinds of classes where there are specific objectives. But spirit group, there are white lines on the highway, but my goodness, there's lots of latitude to explore in that. And so if I'm not feeling particularly enlightened about something, in fact, I'm a little confronted or even confused or whatever, I can just bring it with all the ferocity that I need to in that particular moment and just kind of spill it out, and my spirit group just kind of nods lovingly, and sometimes they let me just spin out and do my thing, and sometimes they have just the right thing to provide, but all the tumblers fall into place when they kind of recontextualize it. But my point is that it's just really safe. And I feel that because I'm exercising unfamiliar parts of myself, and I'm old. I mean, I'm pretty self-examined, and so when I get to bump against those parts that I haven't completely resolved, I love that. And then I can work through it, and there is still sort of a guiding light that says, yeah, but you've got this. You can't fall away from who God wants you to be.
I think, too, that one of the things about spirit groups is not only that and you kind of hit on it, that not only are you embraced, but you're known, And especially if we know we've got groups that continue to reassemble, and they never really break up, so they really get to dig in. And I think when you have history with people, as people who are, have known you for a long time, they don't let you get away with stuff so much, right? They challenge all of your naysaying about yourself, as well as challenging some of your illusions about yourself that that maybe you would still act on, and maybe now's the time for me to climb that mountain. It's like, really, how many times have you tried that? That's really just, it's not you. This isn't you. I mean, somebody who knows and loves you, they're not there to knock you down. They're just there to give you a reality check. So building those strengths and those bonds, if we don't have them in our lives already, there's a way to have somebody who's actually on the spiritual path with you, who's also going to give you those reflections. It's cool.
So if you've missed it, this is a great advertisement for spirit groups. And that's really not our intention tonight, but to kind of focus on the content of what was born of the spirit groups, and then also on Sunday mornings is, I thought, was really brought into focus during the last session, where Michael was talking about our core values, and he authored that his core values, after having done some work and reflection on it, is authenticity and compassion. It completely lines up with how I know him to be, right? And then in our spirit group, we talked about our various core values and got into a fascinating conversation about the differences between integrity and authenticity. And the reason I'm bringing that up now is that I think it would be useful, even in this moment, to just take a breath and reflect on, well, what is a core value of mine? You speaking that for yourself, of course. Knowing that there's not a right answer to that, but knowing that it is a divining rod for how you experience the world, how what you attract, what you put out into the world, what you practice, what you cultivate. And I think if we can actually name it, if we can name it and claim it, and then embody it, and then grow into it, then I know that it helps blow wind into my sail and provides a little more focus as to what I see then in this conversation, and in my relationship with my son, with traffic. It's just my core values come front and center. They're not just an idea that I kind of know what it is, but I actually bring it into my spiritual practice. And for me, it was authenticity. That was the big one. Then another one that follows right on the heels of that is kindness. To practice kindness.
Oh, I love that. I love that challenge. I know for me, it's truth. When I practice self-delusion, which I do from time to time, is that I have to stop and compare it back to, is that true? What are the facts? What feels deeply true? What is really true? And that I find, even while I'm clinging to the delusion because I really loved it and I really wanted it to be true, but it just isn't, that it matters more to me that I find the truth, that I orient myself back to the truth, that I compare everything back to what feels true, feels pure, feels on point, feels aligned with the truth of who I am.
The part of you that knows it knows.
Exactly. And that's really my guiding principle. And as soon as I know that and I cling to this, then I can actually let that go. Because I know it's just fluff. I know it's not going to bring me happiness. This will. Every time.
And I think David brings up a good point about really taking the time to do an inventory of what is with that. What is your core value or core values? And you'll start to notice too, for me, I can speak from my own experience, that whenever I feel a dissonance or some kind of discord, it's because I've gotten away from that value, or I'm not believing that that is my core value. I'm believing my value to be in something else, needing to be right, needing to look good, whatever it is. And instead, so for me, I think my very core by chorus, can I say chorus value? I'm going to.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Jean Marie. Is open-heartedness. And because for me, open-heartedness is even a precursor to compassion, because the first step, for me personally, is not to close to whatever is happening in front of me. Whatever it looks like, whether it's something I welcome and greet, I'm like, oh yes, I really wanted this, or oh, not this again. But stay open. Why? If it is, what is this again? Well, there's something to be, supposed to be learning from that, or knowing about myself or the situation. So open heart, that's my core value.
I thought I might opt out because our group hasn't met yet to talk about this, but no, I'm aware of my values. One is definitely heart-centeredness, being guided by my heart, checking in with my heart if there's something that, is this love-centered, is this life-giving, is it just something that I feel I should be doing? I know that's a head thing. And the other thing is seeing wholeness, that there's nothing ever missing. So if I remember to center back into that, there's nothing missing, there is only wholeness, and it allows me to see that all the resources, everything that's needed is present. So if I'm not experiencing that, I'm not remembering wholeness. So I get to tap back in, and I think about tonight's service as an expression of that there was Charlie Thweet was supposed to come, and no, he's gone.
Yeah, we were going to sit back and just enjoy the service this evening. That's
right?
what we were.
I was looking forward to that, but that just out of the creativity of spirit and our teamwork, that this arose, and we're so blessed to have Stacy with us tonight.
I love it. I love what you say about wholeness too. That I believe that. I believe that for you, and I believe that for myself, and believe in this case, live it. I can't say that I'm always in that zone, but I live it and practice that. And I have that same corollary with the word perfection. Michael cracked me up. I say Michael because that's his preference. I used to call him Reverend Michael, and he said, yeah, stop that. So I'm self-conscious now about referring to him as not Reverend Michael, but okay, Reverend Michael cracked me up, and I think it was in the Spirit Group video, where he said that he wished he had thought of it first, in which case he would have put it on a placard in front of the building, and it says, "No perfect people allowed." It's something like that. I'm not exactly sure if that's right. And that's, I get his point. I totally get his point. Is we bring our broken, silly selves to the altar, and that's exactly what God wants. But I think of it as I only work with perfect people. All the time. The adult amateur choirs, the children I work with, I only work with whole, perfect, and complete people. Now, if they bounce around in that knowing, that's fine. I can hold vigil for them while they but in my space, I only work with perfect people. And it just makes life a little more interesting for me, but I don't know how helpful it is to them.
So you don't really feel the need to fix people or to that they need to be different for you to be happy, right?
It's pretty liberating to be whole, perfect, and complete. And oh, by the way, I'd like to get better too. I don't have any problem with that. That's not a dichotomy to me. It feels liberating. And I also believe that, we can't really fall out of God's grace. Even our worst mistakes all fades into God. There are no mistakes in God.
Thank you, David. Well, as we complete our time in spiritual dialogue, I just want to check in with you, Stacy. Is there's anything else that we should know about spirit groups?
Well, I just want to say that if you're not in a group this fall, don't worry, you didn't miss out. Like we said earlier, it feels like we've kind of done a little bit of an advertisement for them. That wasn't the intention. But that email me, call the church office. They'll get you in touch with me, and I'd love to help you find a group, because if you're looking for the connection and looking for how you can put these spiritual practices that are so beautifully talked about in Wednesday night Satsang, our Sunday services, all our adult classes, if you're looking for people to support you in your implementation of that and to love you right where you're at and see you as perfect, we have a place for you in spirit groups. So yes, it's just a blessing. And thank you for everyone that's participating. Your courageousness, your willing to walk your spiritual walk are just a blessing to us all.
Thank you, Stacy. So let us take that awareness of the blessing of this time together, the blessings in our lives, and move that into prayer. Holding that awareness of gratitude and love, an open heart. Checking in with our hearts now to see where we would like to send forth this prayer energy, this consciousness of love and wholeness and light. to any people or groups of people, situations or conditions in the world that we know are living prayer requests, where there's something that can be healed there, that can be transformed through the power of Spirit's energy. And so now we invite you to speak the names of those people, conditions, or situations now, so we can hold them all in prayer together. All being held in God's love. We see it, we know it, and so we let it be. God is here, God is at work. We are grateful, and so it is. Amen.
As we close our service with the usual metta practice prayer, the prayer for the welfare of all beings, let us speak our prayer together. By the power of this practice, may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they know the sacred joy that arises in the space beyond suffering. May they rest in equanimity that knows no grasping or hatred. May they experience the equality of all beings. May my practice be of benefit to all.
Namaste, namaste, I bow to you. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Go shine your light into the world. Namaste, namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste, namaste. Go shine your light into the world. Namaste, namaste, namaste.